Hello and welcome to Bitesize Edge. So today there's a bit of a thunderstorm kicking off. So I'm going to start with that to say if you hear anything odd in the background, it's not my stomach rumbling, although I am a little hungry. It may be the thunder or potentially the dogs barking. So we'll leave that one there and let me introduce to you the very fabulous Sarah Perugia. Now, Sarah is a leadership coach, a team facilitator, and a keynote speaker. So we are going to have a chat today about all of those fabulous things. So welcome, Sarah. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Jules.
How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. The thunderstorm has passed here, so it's all beautiful and sunny.
Oh, lovely. You've sent it my way. Thank you very
Yes.
much for that. So, Sarah, we are in, what are we in? Week 13 now of lockdown?
Gosh, is it really?
Really, week 30. I think it is week 30. Lost all sense of weeks and days. How has lockdown affected you and all of the fabulous things that you do?
Oh, that's a great question. How has it affected me? So how it's affected me personally is actually extremely positively in lots of ways. I am somebody who usually spends lots of time, like yourself, Jules, traveling around and working with lots of different people in different countries and all over the UK. And I'm absolutely loving being with my family and seeing them every morning when I wake up. I'm not up and out of the house before everybody's awake. I'm here at the end of the day. I'm trying to avoid cooking by encouraging them to enhance their cooking skills.
I like that.
Yes, I feel like it's empowering for them. You know?
Yes, definitely. I'm not sure they'll see it that way,
No,
but
I don't think they do.
I might try that with mine too.
So I'm exercising every day. I'm digging in the garden quite badly. I'm not very good at gardening, but I am enjoying it.
Is this a new skill that you've taken up since lockdown?
Yeah, I think skill would be overstating it.
Okay.
Passion, yes. Skill, no.
Okay. Fabulous. Do you think it will become a skill if you just
hopefully yes. Let's say that. Let's be optimistic.
So for you, it's been really positive. You said that you're loving the fact that you're spending more time with the family, and that's something that very much resonates. And I know that a lot of people are saying the same. There's just that level of gratitude for the time that they are being given back in a way that they're not, as you said there, getting up before the world wakes up to be on a train to do a really long day in London. And that's maybe, where the world is going. Who knows? Who knows where we're going to be in a few months' time? Tell me a little bit, it's been really positive for you, Sarah. And I know from the conversations we've had, you've been super, super busy, which is wonderful. So tell us about some of the work you've been doing.
Oh, yeah. So I've been doing a range of different things. So two of my specialisms, as you know, are working with people around resilience and also working with people around their influencing and impact skills. So both of those things have pivoted and found a new lease of life working on Zoom, the wonderful Zoom. I don't say wonderful Zoom with my Microsoft clients, obviously.
Microsoft Teams.
Microsoft Teams, love it. And, I've been doing work with large corporations, with individuals, with doing open sessions, and also doing a lot of work with women's networks around those topics. So looking at, given that the world has absolutely changed so much and our lives have changed so much, what is it that we might need to think about in order to build and maintain resilience now? Because a lot of the things that we would normally have available to us to boost resilience, that kind of camaraderie, we know that we get a physiological boost from being face to face with people, the jokes in the office or the celebrations. We've lost a lot of those things. And also, in the influencing space, a lot of people have been asking me, how do we transfer what we know as sort of successful, confident speakers in order to really have a positive impact when we're you know, just an inch high on Zoom. And so I've been looking at voice work, of course, and breathing and managing nerves and body language and energy. So these two pieces of work feed into each other an enormous amount, because at their heart, a lot of what we're talking about here is really taking care of ourselves in order to be at our best.
And can I ask you about that? So you said there about, obviously, all of the elements that make up how we present ourselves and communicate with others. And obviously, suddenly we've got a screen, and you said, you know, a few inches high. How do you transfer all of that knowledge and skill you have as a facilitator and coach, and also, you know, a keynote speaker? So you're very versed in how to present yourself. How has it been for you to be able to shift and flex to now deliver that type of work via Zoom?
Well, great question, Jules. So I think there's two lots of flexing. There's flexing my material in order to help my clients flourish in that space, and there's flexing my practice in order that I can flourish in that space. So actually, the thing that I have noticed time and time again is how tiring it is. You know, just you know, often if I've delivered a keynote, I'll be absolutely on a high. I'll be, you know, my physiology is completely boosted. I'm full of serotonin, and, you know, that adrenaline has kind of moved into this real feeling of buzz. And I notice that I don't get the same shift when I work virtually. It helps to have everyone on video, of course, and make that connection. But actually, what I've noticed is I need to take responsibility for resetting myself. So taking lots of breaks, looking at what boosts my mood, what boosts my physiology. So lots of exercise, lots of getting away from my screen. I've actually noticed that bouncing on my kids' trampoline in the garden for 5 minutes makes a really big difference.
Oh, fabulous.
So, you know, there's all sorts of things that might not be available to me normally, that are available to me now, and vice versa. You know, I don't have the journey up to London to kind of get into the zone. So I might need to think about, okay, well, how can I warm up? How can I stretch my body? Maybe I need to go for a walk. What is the ritual I might need to go through to sort of set myself up for success, to be calm or energized or whatever it is I need to be? And then how do I resettle myself at the end of maybe that 90-minute or 2-hour or even half-day session in order to be ready for the next conversation or the next challenge?
So it's really about that self-care element, isn't it? Which I think we're becoming, well, I'm going to generalize here, I think a lot of us are becoming much more aware of in this place where we're working virtually. And you're right. I mean, we delivered a course virtually last week. So we did 5 days back to back with breaks in the middle of the day. But it was absolutely exhausting from a point of view of I feel the level of concentration that's needed, because something has been taken away. That level of connection has been taken, that you have to work so much harder with this screen as a barrier between us. I mean, also so wonderful that we can work like this, but I think self-care is the word that is being bandied about quite a lot at the moment. And I don't think I've ever realized just how important that being kind to oneself and having that, you called it a ritual, and I think you're absolutely right, finding that level of self-care that works for you in order for us as facilitators, trainers, to be the best we can be, but also being able to deliver that and be an example of that for the people who are at the other end of the computer screen.
Absolutely. And actually, one of the conversations I had with a group that I was working with on virtual presentation skills last week, two of the people at the end, when they were talking about what had they taken from the session, said that the most important part of the session was watching me present and having a role model, because we see great presenters face to face all the time. I work a lot in the pharmaceutical industry. So people are very used to going to conferences and watching all sorts of different presenters and picking up, you know, using modeling to pick up, what do I love about this? How can I use it for myself? But they don't necessarily have that same, you know, broad ranging set of role models when it comes to powerful, energetic or charismatic virtual presenting. So they said the fact that they had somebody there who, you know, and obviously I'd gone off and done all my energizing work beforehand, who sort of stayed high energy and engaged with them and used gesture and asked a lot of questions and engaged with them, that, you know, they found that particularly was the most useful thing in the session.
Wow, that's fabulous that you were able to offer that. That's really fabulous, and I think it's the new thing, isn't it? You've made a really good point there. We're quite used to seeing people present brilliantly in front of us, but what about on a screen in front of us when they might be sitting down? We can't see their whole body. We're only seeing part of them, and it's interesting. I've turned my video off for the joys of internet bandwidth, but you've still got yours on, and I'm watching you and you're so animated, and it's actually a joy to watch you, and I'm probably going to make you really self-conscious now because there's not a video looking back at you, so I apologize for that, Sarah. But you're absolutely, you talk the talk and you walk the talk, and I think that's so important, even more so when you're delivering this, you know, way that we are now.
Well, I think also, Jules, we're very, very lucky to have had our actors training, because even though that's now 20 years ago, showing our age.
I wondered whether you might mention that.
20 years ago.
20 years ago.
You know, it's such a long time ago, and yet it's the foundation stone for so much. You know, even the fact that we were taught how to breathe in order to manage nerves. I mean, that just comes back. I think I probably use that every single day at some point.
Oh, me too. 100%.
Whether it's, you know, keeping my cool with my kids not doing what they're supposed to, or whether it's, you know, making sure that my voice is doing what I want it to when I'm presenting or speaking. You know, it's those skills we learned were so brilliant, weren't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely. They are the fundamentals to everything that we do. Everything that we do. So, Sarah, before we started our podcast, we were having a good old catch up and a chat, because, as you mentioned there, we were at drama school together 20 years ago, building the foundations for what we do now, of course. And with that in mind, you were talking to me a little bit about your very exciting new project, Women on a Mission. So tell me about this. This sounds fabulous.
Oh, I'm very excited about it. So this is something that was running as an 8-month face-to-face program, and I've now pivoted and redesigned it in consultation with some of my gorgeous clients who have got their hands up, ready to go, ready to start. We didn't want to wait until until maybe October. We want to start a little bit sooner. So we've recreated this. So it's a 5-month group coaching program. It's got some one-to-one virtual coaching and 5 2-hour group coaching sessions. It's a cohort of 6 women, and those 6 women go through the whole 5-month program together. And it's all about living with passion and purpose. That's how I describe it to people. So the title is Women on a Mission, and it's for women who want to live with passion and purpose. We start with thinking about what drives us, what are we passionate about, what makes us happy. We do a big piece of work around defining success. This is something I'm absolutely passionate about. I think as women, there are so many different ideas of what success looks like. And I think sometimes it's really, really hard for women to get comfortable with their own individual, unique idea of success, of what is success to me, what's really going to make me happy. And I think we sometimes as women get buffeted around with a lot of external ideas of what a successful woman looks like, and they can be quite contradictory.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So we start with this sort of digging deep into strengths, values, passions, motivators, drivers. We even dig into something called ikigai, which is a Japanese concept about sort of what makes life worth living for you, what gets you out of bed in the morning.
Tell me again, ikigai.
Ikigai.
I love that.
I know, it's the most fascinating concept, and I can share it with you afterwards. And it's really looking at what do you love, what do you great at, what can you get paid for, and what does the world need, and how do we sort of balance all of those things in order to find a path that's passion driven.
I like that.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
Ikigai.
And then that's the sort of the sort of, I guess, digging into what is it, and then we look at, okay, the pathway, I guess, the journey. So what is it now that we need to do or need to have in our toolbox in order to start taking action? And the first thing, of course, is amazing women who have their hands at our backs. So that's why, you know, that cohort of women go together through the whole program. So there's a lot of support, hopefully some fun, so hopefully some laughter and celebration of each other, setting goals. And we start to look at what is it we need in order to build the courage and confidence and daily action that starts to move us on the journey to get where we want to go, and find that successful journey. And that isn't necessarily money. That, you know, that idea of success could be absolutely anything. It might just be being a happier person. It might be becoming CEO. It might be starting your own business. It might just be being in the role that you're in, but really taking your space. It could be any number of things. Women come to this program for all sorts of different reasons. And that's what makes it fascinating, because you don't have to be the same as another woman in order to really believe in her and see her journey and honor her journey and be there cheering her on.
Wow. And so you talk about it's for women who are looking for that idea of passion and purpose. And I love the way you talk about success there, because you're right, we're all unique individuals, so we will all have a very different definition of what success is for us. And I love the term that you used there about honouring that journey. Is there, for the women who are going to be joining you on this, and the Women on a Mission, is there a particular criteria, or is it open to any woman?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say I don't think there are definite criteria. I think it's what I'm looking for is a group of women, and I've got 3 of them already, who are going to gel together. It's about that unconditional positive regard that we can create in a small group of women that gives us this just incredible power to create whatever it is we're trying to create.
Okay. So
it's anybody who wants to be there.
Yeah.
Will be the right person.
Yeah, absolutely. It's somebody who is listening to this, who the words that you're speaking, the idea of that passion, the purpose, the success, the journey, the support, all of those aspects really resonate with them. So sorry, Sarah, you've got 3 women already.
Yes.
We're looking for 3 more.
And I think what I was just sorry for jumping over you, Jules. Okay. What I was going to say was, you know, the women who are attracted to this program, they're women who are feeling low energy, or feeling a little bit lost, or feeling that they're on the verge of something new, but they're not quite sure what, or they've got an idea, but they're not quite sure how to put it into action. You know, if you feel like you would like to make a change or deal with the next exciting part of your journey, and you would like more clarity and support and energy, and maybe more tools in the toolbox around making that happen for yourself, then this is the right program for you.
And it feels like a perfect time as well, in this space where we're all wanting to upskill and find new ways of doing things. You talk about that low energy. It's quite difficult for a lot of people. And, I put my hand up to this. It's hard to remain motivated and to be really clear about what the path looks like when all of the outside influences feel quite big right now. So it feels, Sarah, like this is just the perfect time. When you said there that you didn't want to wait, I think you're absolutely spot on for making that as a choice, not to wait, to bring this to people when they find themselves in a place of, it's tricky. There's challenge at the moment. And when there's challenge, we either rise or we find it a challenge, and sometimes we fall, and that's okay. But if people are interested, Sarah, how can they find out more about Women on a Mission, but also just about the other things, the fabulous things that you do with your coaching and facilitating and speaking? How can they get in contact with you?
Best thing to do would be to look at my website. I think that's probably the starting point. I am on LinkedIn as well, but probably my website, which is just www.sarahperugia.com.
Okay, nice and easy. So it's your name, Sarah Perugia, PERUGIA.com, and they can find all the information about what you do. And do you have the information up and running on the Women on a Mission there?
I do have. I have some of the information up there. It's at the moment. It's mostly the information that relates to the face-to-face longer program, but I'm in the process of revamping that so that it's more up to date, and it shows us the virtual program. But some of the principles are up there, absolutely. Wonderful. And just send me an email or send me a text, and I can send you. I have a whole PowerPoint presentation that you can have a look at, and it gives you all the information about how Women on a Mission will run, obviously the investment costs, the structure of the program, etc., etc. And that will give you, so get in touch and I can send that to you in a flash.
Wonderful, Sarah. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me today. It's been wonderful to see your beautiful face again and to have a catch up with you. I suppose I better let you get back either to your gardening now that it's sunshine there and you've given me the thunder, or you were also mentioning that your youngest is very keen on baking. So I'm guessing there's a couple of cakes that might be floating around that need eating.
So when I started, I came into the room to start my conversation with you, Jules. I said, Nina, what will you be doing while I'm on my call with Jules? And she said, I'm going to be doing history, Mummy. And I can smell cakes. So I don't think she's done history. I think there's something really delicious for me to go and eat.
Well, that sounds wonderful. And I wish I was a bit closer that I could have a piece. So enjoy that cake. Enjoy the garden. Fabulous to speak to you. I will upload all of the details with this podcast. Thank you so much for talking to us today, Sarah.
Thank you, Jules. Thank you for having me.
Take care.
Bye.